Okay, guys, continuing on with Coin and Coney. What's happening with the Coinbase exchange? All right, kind of flat. Look at this. Went from for coin 219.97 down to 219.56. So down 0.19, not even 1/5 of 1%. What did we do? We went up 0.05. Again, these guys are, they're pretty amazing. The spread here, we're down less. We're up when they're down. We're up when they're down. So we just went 1907, 1908, 1909, and they went down 70 cents, down 45 cents or so. So, real flat, real boring. But it's buying time. It's winning the weeklies that way. Okay, there were some trades put on. Let's go take a look at that. So they put, whoops, I wrote this. Hang on, let me find it in my list. Coney. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they sold 800, sold short 800 naked calls. And then they put their synthetic out at 230. They did a buy, a traditional buy to add because shares got bought into. They bought 800 calls and they sold 800 short. So let me give you what's in front of us. Let's go take a look at this sell. So that netted us 55,200. We wrote it at 227.50. The other ones were 230 and 235, right? So let's take a look at the inflows. The inflows were 525,000 shares. You can see that right here. A little bit of, cash. So 13 million flowed into the fund, and they spent some of that. Okay, and they also collected a little bit of money. Well, actually, let's take a look at that synthetic now. So on the synthetic, yeah, they collected about 800,000, a little over 800,000. So how does that work? Well, on 710, you see the 800 contracts and look at where it is, right? It's at 219.56, basically 220, and they're selling at 230. Whenever you're below that strike price, you're going to be able to buy your call cheaper, right? And you'll be able to collect more money for the put because the put's already under, right? The put is going to be put to you, or you're going to have to buy it back unless you go up 11 points, right? So that's the thinking, even though it's out at 816. So you got certain amount of intrinsic. So you got, $10, $10.50 worth, but they're able to sell that because it's a good month plus, right? It's 36 days out. So that 10.50, if you will, is really 25.76. So it's got as much time premium decay potential as it does premium for being under the strike price. And on the call, it's all time premium because you're underneath that. So that's why we gain money there. And if you look at that, we're now up to 2581, right? We've collected all of that money. But you know what? I should have, hang on a second. We should have this. Oh, I see. That's a running total. Okay. Just making sure that I was doing this right. All right, guys. So we have, let's look at holdings because that really then becomes, well, actually, we can look at weekly. So here's a summary, right? We just put these on, and this is a 227.50. Let me verify that it's at the same month. I need to fix these so I can pull them down. You put this $sign in here, and then it allows you to not automatically change it. Just a peculiarity of Excel. So then you can drag it down, and it doesn't try to make it 13. Okay, so it sticks to this number. Whoops, I want this. There we go. All right, is that 219.97? 219.56. Sorry about that, guys. Where was I? Oh, I was on the weekly. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you, just too many sheets. Too many sheets and too little time. All right, let me make sure I'm okay here. Nope, that needs to be 62, but we gained a little bit. All right, I need to reflect that. All right, so these are our, let's see, is that one, hang on, that call is a 719. I thought it was different. I like to color code these so they tell me right away. Whoops. What's going on, right? So I know that they're distinguished. So that's interesting. They dropped it and going out further, yeah, we're a little bit lower, but it's got a whole, 7 trading days. I don't know if I like that or not. I always like laddering, but we shall see. It all depends on what Bitcoin does. All right, so let's see how these look in the holdings. So we need to add that one. So I've now got a 19, and that one is at 227.50, and that's for 800 contracts. And what did we close that one at? We closed that one at 5.425. What did we write it for? That's kind of the key. Yeah, I think we might be a little under on that one. Yeah, something doesn't jive. It's 69 cents. Can that be right? Did it really move that radically? I'll double check it later. I'm not gonna complete it exactly. Again, when they're out there like that in time. Now let me check something here on my other monitor. I want to see if that in fact is, whoops, that price that they were showing, they sold it, but it seems like they would have gotten more money by going out 7 days, but anything's possible that they didn't. Okay, 719. Okay, so it's not 712. And they're not showing that kind of money. They were showing, wow, if that's the case, that thing has really come back to haunt them. So they're only going to get 55.20, but that's fine. We're nowhere near over that. So all I do here is go back and capture that in July on the sheet. Okay. So we're going to be under that massively. Yeah, 686. Something just doesn't, that's probably a bad quote, guys. It doesn't make any sense. It's 7 trading days to be, and it's $7 under. It just doesn't, well, again, anything's possible. But why would they only get 69 cents? I'd have to go back and look at the chart. But I don't have time for that. So we'll just deal with what we got. It'll all wash out in time. The other thing I do on these, for if you watch my other videos, is I denote them with a different color. And then they don't really, right now they're rolling up in the same total, but it's not a big deal. So let's look at the synthetic. The synthetic is that right, on the 230? 2506 and 1605. Yeah, I got that dialed in. Everything else is right. So let's go down and look at the synthetic here. So we're at 27 million. We were at 24, 22, and 13. So it's creeping, right? It's creeping the wrong way, guys. So Coney's the one having troubles. I know a couple of you guys in the Discord were asking me, hey, should I get out of Coney? Again, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, you know, they all operate slightly different. There could be something they do in their exchange or something else that gets them in trouble. But in general, they sympathetically trade with BTC, you know, because they're a crypto exchange, right? Um, so I wouldn't worry if you're bullish on where BTC is going. I think Coinbase is going to be fine. You know, each of these things act their own, but they're pulled, their strings are pulled in the same way. And sometimes they're risk on with the market and sometimes they're risk off with the market, right? Market's been moving up and they really haven't. But for quite a while, whatever the NASDAQ did, they did, right? So the old saying is it works till it doesn't, right? That's like sector shifting. Okay, so let's look at payouts. Let me wrap this up. So the only issue, the main issue you have here, right? And these are reflected. 61, yeah, to 57. Okay. Whoops. And didn't have the synthetic. Yep, I upped the synthetic on the 230, so that should be fine to roll that total in. Okay, guys, so they need to get going, right? We need to wake Bitcoin up, please. Okay, so not a lot of cash flow in here, but we do have time. It's early in the month. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you on Mr. Coin and Mr. Coney. Okay, guys. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Have a great day. See ya. Bye.